Join me for the conclusion of our Bruce Lee and Memorabilia room tour with Bruce Lee collector Luis Cotto as we view and discuss the rest of his Bruce Lee collectibles before heading over to his second memorabilia room filled with collectibles from Marvel Comics, King Kong and Godzilla, to Star Wars and much more. Enjoy!
In the case, I got these.
Look
from
at this. Oh
John
man, I love it. I love it.
And it is.
This brings back memories.
You got two books in there that are from Japan.
Cinema of Vengeance. I got this when I was a kid back in the. You know when this came out?
No.
1974.
Really?
It was one of the first books on all the kung fu martial art films at that time.
Oh, that's right.
And it focuses heavily on Bruce Lee, but they got Angela Mao's in here.
Yes.
Jimmy Wang Yu, all of them, all the celebrities of martial arts cinema back then in the 70s was in the. This was. I was searching for this when I was a kid. I was 15.
Really?
And you got the hard copy, I see.
Yeah, I do. I do have the
And
hard
then this
copy.
is a classic book from Japan.
Yes.
I got this early on as well. This is from 74 also. You're very lucky to have this. This is just simply beautiful. You got this is one of the first, look at this, cover to cover, all color photos of Bruce Lee throughout this entire Japanese book. This is really incredible. This book.
The Japanese do the best books.
Yeah.
They do.
No, this is
the glossy finish that they put on these things.
Yeah, this was one of the first ones that I picked up back in the day in 74. You're fortunate to have those in your collection, Louis. Those are great books.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow, and you got this big
catalog.
Catalog book. Who remembers this, man? The catalog book that they put out on Bruce Lee collecting. This catalogs over thousands of items on Bruce Lee. I believe they put this out in the late 90s.
And from Japan.
From Japan. And look at this. So if you wanted to find out all the different memorabilia that came out on Bruce Lee, you would flip through this book. It shows you the lobby cards, the movie posters, the pins, everything. Films, DVDs. They even did a feature article on Jeff Chin. Sitting in his room. Look at that, Louis. He's one of the biggest Bruce Lee collectors in the world, outside of myself and Hector Martinez, that is.
I've seen you both in some magazines with your collections.
But yeah, Jeff has an incredible Bruce Lee collection. So again, another really great book, man.
Thank you, man.
Wow, that's a fantastic one.
And a lot of the stuff that I have here, mostly in here, are basically a lot of the collectibles of Bruce Lee photos and magazines, like his first magazine that he came out in.
And we were talking about Marlowe. You have the Marlowe VHS tape over there.
The VHS on Marlowe.
Garner.
And then the first Green Hornet movie that was made on VHS. I have that back there. And I have the collectibles from CBS Fox in the early 90s of all of the Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah, you got all the VHS tapes on Bruce Lee as well. Wow, you did a really nice job putting this little corner of the Bruce Lee room together. I like your little your bed here.
My little cubby
just
hole.
To chill out and watch your... So if you didn't want to sit in the movie theater, you come here in your little cubby
relax
hole.
here.
Relax, read, do your artwork, draw. Wow, very nice, man.
Thank you.
Look, you even put things on the ceiling here.
Yeah, I did.
You got the...
I did.
What were those? The scrolls, right? They came out?
It was amazing when they first came out with them, and I said, you know what?
And what's this little card set that we're filming here? What is that? That card set? Are those cards?
I ordered these. Yeah, there was someone selling these cards, a deck of cards of all the movie posters from the early 70s. And when I saw the first one, which was The Big Boss, and they said they had 52, I said, oh, I need to get that because I remember all the movies that were made. You know, you have... a lot of the Angela Mao cards in there.
Sonny Chiba.
Yeah, Sonny Chiba.
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee. I see them all. Wow. Game of Death. I never seen that card set. That is really nice.
Yeah.
And you wrote over there, this is just a little bit about you. Video games, 700 DVD, 6,000 DVDs. And you said you have 8,000 now?
I have 8,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah, DVDs.
700 video games, Bruce Lee collectibles, action figures, karaoke, comic books, posters, snacks, toys. Come visit Louis's man cave. I love it, man. Wow, this is fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to kind of walk into the next area of your collectible room. We'll just do a few shots here.
Of the movie theater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at this. Wow. Just talk a little bit about this rack of comics you have here.
Sure.
This is kind of interesting. I love the way you put this together because this brings me back to the old comic book days when you used to go into the stores and see all the comic books on the rack.
I used to shine shoes in front of Nathan's in Hartford, and then when I would get my money, which was like under $1, I would get a burger, fries, and buy a comic and bubblegum.
There we go.
And so I was collecting comics at the time, but then I just gave them away at a young age, which was a mistake. But then my nephew collects comics, and he has over 15,000, and he inspired me to start collecting again. So I started collecting comics, and I ordered the rack on Amazon.
You got the Bruce Lee Dragon comics that his daughter put out, I see here.
I have that, and I
some
have
Green Hornet ones.
Some Green Hornet, and I have some of the Marvels.
The Marvel comics.
With the Hulk.
Look at that.
And some of the magazines from Bruce Lee that were done just recently.
Yep, I see those.
And some of the old classic Batman.
Wow. What a fun rack, man.
Yeah, and then
this is really very creative.
I ended up collecting the original Lone Wolf and Cub series.
Yeah, look at that.
From 1987 when they transferred these into English.
And the whole
they came from Japan. I have the first season of 1 through 42.
Wow, nice.
So these are rare to find now, but I'm glad that I own them. And
yeah, let's walk into your other room here. Louis is now going to take us into the second half of his room here, which is the other part of the memorabilia cave that he put together. We're going to leave the Bruce Lee room now, and let's enter that where you have your movie theater.
Okay.
Follow us, guys.
So here I have some Superman and Shazam going on here from the early 90s.
I love that.
Below that, I do have Abbott and Costello, who's on first. It's robotic, so it gives you the whole routine. Down below that, I have Forbidden Planet, Robbie the Robot, and Robot from Lost in Space.
Yep, look at that. Wow.
And
how's this? If we press this, does it work?
Press it. Yeah, absolutely. It should start talking.
Well, Costello, I'm going to New York with you. You know, Bucky Harris, the Yanks manager, gave me a job as coach for as long as you're on the team.
And it gave me the whole 6-minute scenario.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool. So you like things that move, right?
Yeah.
More interactive.
I'm into the robotic area of that. The idea of the light on the steps, I saw someone else on YouTube do it, but his steps actually lit as you walked up.
I see.
But I went the cheaper version and I found the lights, and it still made it light up at night because I wanted people not to fall when they come down the stairs.
I see that.
To see a movie.
All right. Louis, tell us a little bit about what you have here on some of the steps now.
Sure. Over here I have the original plaques that Bruce Lee had at his Jacob Do School, and it was created by George Lee.
Yep.
And it represented what Bruce Lee wanted for people to understand about his style of Jeet Kune Do. And on my left side, I have memorabilia poster pictures of Bruce Lee throughout the years. A lot of them are caricatures. A lot of them are just regular photos of certain magazines that he was in throughout the years. I find it totally amazing that a man that had lived the short life that he had has been represented so strongly in the media of everything that he wanted people to know about him. So
yeah, it's amazing. I only was 32 years old, and to accomplish as much as he did in that short period of time is mind-boggling, actually. Well, he did a nice job at coming down these steps and really kind of creating this entranceway to your man cave.
And I enjoy the fact that I walk into it and I see my Into the Dragon poster, and I have a blue light that lights up at night, so I leave it lit, representing Bruce Lee, who he was back then. I enjoy every aspect of it.
So Louis, tell us now about this second room that we're in. What do you consider this room?
Well, this area here is my time travel movie theater, where I go back in time and I watch movies up on a big screen.
Wow.
And I started collecting a lot of the items that you see in front of you here. Like the action figures are basically Marvel, and that was from my grandson. He's the one that came up with the idea of me putting them up on the steps. The posters that you see there have magazines and DVDs in front of them, like Hercules with Steve Reeves.
Man, that's a classic.
Yeah, big fan of Christopher Reeves, actually, who played Superman back in the, what was that, the 90s?
Yeah, the 90s,
yeah.
Yep.
And then we have Spider-Man, the first cover poster that was made of Spider-Man. If you own the comic, wow.
Wow,
God bless
like
you.
$1 million comic now.
Yeah.
Amazing Fantasy number 15. Guys, does anyone own this comic? The original.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Louis has the replica poster, which looks very nostalgic and very vintage. I just love it.
Down here is my movie theater seats that I actually purchased from a gentleman at a barn out in Pennsylvania from a opera theater. They closed down. Over here on the wall, I have a 1,000-piece puzzle of Elvis and James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, and Humphrey Bogart. Here are my collectibles. I have Star Wars, and I have original cameras that were from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 80s. Back then, when people would just wind them up and start filming old movies. I have my Laura and Hardy little action figure dolls. I have my Charlie Chaplin. I'm a big fan of Charlie Chaplin.
Play us a little of that. Who's that? Yeah,
This is Ray Charles.
Oh, Ray Charles. I'm sorry.
I love action figure dolls that move. I'm a big fan of that. Here I met Ray Parker at a Comic-Con, and he was the gentleman who played Darth Maul in Star Wars, where he had that fight action scene. I met him in person, and he wanted to come here to this movie theater himself when I met him.
Wow.
I met Lou Ferrigno at the New York City Comic-Con event. That was really the first time I ever took a photo with a movie star, and I treasure that dearly. And here I have a replica copy of Superman action figure along with the Superman comic that came out back in 1938. And below that, at a Comic-Con event, I walked the wall with Batman.
Oh, look at that. That's when Kato and the Green Hornet stick their head out of the window, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's and that was one of the appearances they made on Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Wow, that's fun. Look at you over there with Batman.
Yeah, going up the wall. Up here I have my Peter Sellers. This one is Inspector Gadget, but I put my little Peter Sellers mustache on that. Pink Panther, and below that is the actual disc from Tron that lights up, and King Kong
I'm a
and
big
Godzilla.
King Kong and Godzilla fan,
Yeah,
man.
so
I love
am I.
those.
I have every
That brings
single
me
movie.
way back. Look at that. Beautiful.
And down here we have some fresh popcorn. Under that we have all the candies that you could think of.
Well, get that ready, because we're going to be doing that right after this room tour. We're going to be watching a movie.
Over here we have my Indiana Jones in his first movie where he got the statue, the gold statue, his journal, a replica copy of his journal of everything that he was looking for, the Cup of Christ that was at the end of the movie. Down below I have some nostalgic posters and actual movies from Ray Harrison. He did all the clay figures for all these movies back then. I have a large collection of all his claymations that he did back in the 50s and 60s. Beyond that, I have Alfred, who I have a replica copy of the phone that George Reeves used to use in his office when he played Clark Kent as Superman.
Look at that. Wow.
I have Fred Astaire and Ginger Roberts with some of the VHS tapes of Fred Astaire and Ginger Roberts, along with DVDs that I have nostalgically of their musical career back in the 30s and 40s.
You got the Warriors action here.
Poster,
Yeah.
yes. Billy Jack.
One of my
with the
favorite movies.
Billy Jack hat. The Wanted poster for David Carradine and the Kung Fu series that I think at one point Bruce Lee was the actual writer or creator of that idea.
The Kung Fu series, yeah. He was supposed to play the part, but they gave it to David Carradine because they thought Bruce Lee was too Asian looking at the time, and they didn't want to take a chance on an Asian actor back then.
Well, and behind that I have about 1,200 DVDs, action, comedy, whatever you want to consider. Here's a replica seat. It used to be a barber's chair. I converted it into my Star Trek chair for my grandkids. It has the little captain's panel. It has the communicator and the actual phaser gun that they use.
Look at that. Wow, it was a nice replica duplication of the chair there. I like it.
Beyond that point, I have some Star Wars troopers. And then I have R2-D2. And beyond that, I have King Kong with the Empire State Building.
So you made a whole replica of this, him
Yes.
on the Empire State Building.
Yes.
And then you got the plane up here that he's yelling at, the
Yes.
planes that wanted to shoot him down at the time.
Yes.
Look at that, on that little wire.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that movie won 8 Academy Awards for
Yeah, I think you're right.
back in 1936
Wow,
when the
that
movie
was
was
so
done.
classic, man.
Yeah, so, and then beyond that point, I have a John Wayne mirror that I couldn't pass up because I'm a big John Wayne fan. And past that point here, I have the original Superman series that came out in 1947.
Ooh, look at that. Yeah.
Kirk Allen, I think was his name. And then I have a Superman in the phone booth changing into Superman.
There you go. Look at that little replica there.
Yeah, and I have my Godzilla, Hulk action figures. I have the original Captain Marvel on VHS that was done back in 1941. And it was before Superman series with Kirk Allen, because Kirk Allen, they changed it into animation, him flying. They actually used Captain Marvel before that, and they used a foam, 7-foot foam figure, and they put it on a rope, and they would slide it down and then reverse the film to make it look like he was flying across the mountains.
Interesting.
So it made it look like it was an actual human being, and then you would have a stuntman that would do the stunts, landing and flipping and playing Shazam. I think it was well made for that time.
Yeah, no CGI back then.
No, absolutely not. And then beyond that point, I have my Bruce Lee mannequin of Kato. I brought the mannequin, and I had the Bruce Lee Kato costume in one of the Comic-Con events that I wore, and I decided to put him up in that corner because he represented the person that I loved watching when I was a kid.
And you even put the dart in his hand, I see
Yes, yes, I did that.
here. You got his famous dart.
Yes. Below that, I have my Three Stooges.
Now,
And
do they do a little singing for us? Let's
yeah,
put that on.
they have a little scene going on.
Love it.
And I got my little
Man.
Sasquatch there.
Yep, I see him.
And then I have my Gumby's action figure.
Some classics there, a little Gumby and Pokey. You remember
Yeah.
watching that when you were a kid on
Oh,
TV?
yeah, absolutely, man. That
Man,
was-
on the weekends I used to watch Gumby and Pokey.
yeah, I would have some Frosted Flakes and watch my Gumby
man.
and Pokey when I was a kid. I have my gumballs, and I have the Megazord from the Power Rangers from 1991. It belonged to my children, and so I decided to keep him. And so
Great
I,
history there, man.
Yep, I display the helmets of that era. I have my Yoda in the corner right there, and my gumball machine. You can't watch a movie without having a couple of pieces of gumball.
Yep. And is this you in some Comic-Con outfits up here?
Oh yeah, that was in Comic-Con events. I played the Hitman, I did the Flash one year, I did Batman one year, I did a Western martial artist and a Kung Fu martial artist.
I see that. You really take part in that, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And then on here on this side, I have my John Wayne action figures, my Phantom action figure that I purchased. John Wayne, I have Alfred Hitchcock, the Honeymooners.
I love the Honeymooners.
Yep. And I have James Cagney in the corner. And a lot of the movies that surround these particular artists of that time are in front to represent.
And what are all these DVDs on the wall? Like, what does those represent?
A lot of the DVDs that I have
there.
here, yeah, these are all the, like the Rambo movies.
Oh, wow.
The Predator movies, the original disaster movies of the 70s, Earthquake, Poseidon Adventure, Airport, back in those times.
Tower Inferno.
Yep, I have Creature from the Black Lagoon, all the movies. I have Abbott and Costello, Laura and Hardy, Three Stooges, Planet of the Apes, and it goes on and on and
Wow,
on.
man, Lewis.
In Like Flint, Our Man Flint with James Coburn.
Oh, I love those.
And he was, at that time, he was doing martial arts, but I'm not sure if he was already learning martial arts from Bruce Lee at that time. It could have been after the fact. And it's interesting to know that Bruce Lee had anything to do with any of these famous movie stars.
James Coburn was already training with Bruce Lee at that time when he was doing the Our Man Flint films.
Oh,
so you could
okay.
actually see the influence of Bruce when he's doing the fights.
Yes.
You could see Bruce helped him set up a lot of those fights that he was doing because he was studying martial arts during that whole time while he was an actor, and Bruce was helping him coordinate those fight scenes.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
So I have all the original Godzilla movies that were made from the 50s to present day, and in a sequential order. I have Lord of the Rings, I have The Hobbits, all the Harry Potter movies. It goes on and on. All the Pink Panther movies that were made with Peter Sellers. I mean, I love that guy. The original Planet of the Apes series. All the Fast and Furious series. Streets of San Francisco, something that I used to watch back in the early 70s. And it goes on. It goes all the way down. And then on top of that, I collect a lot of the nostalgic stuff from Game of Thrones, all the weapons that they had. I like having them. This is Guyver from a Japanese anime series where they made 2 motion pictures in America playing Guyver, and they did a lot of martial arts in the movie, so that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the Guyver character. I have my Yoda that actually talks and walks and uses a laser. I was always fascinated by robotics, so that became part of my collection as well. I have pretty much all the Van Damme movies. This is a Van Damme action figure along with his very first movie, which was Black Eagle, all going down to Bloodsport, all the way down to all the most.
So these are all Van Damme movies down here. Wow.
And then on top of that, I have every single, about 26 VHS Van Damme movies original.
It's a nice action figure there.
Yeah, thank you.
Even got a little Beatles action over here.
Oh yeah, I have the magazine, and I do have the
edition.
original, not the records, but the CDs of other songs.
Wow, this room is simply amazing, man.
Yeah, I have.
You put it together really nicely.
John Wayne replica guns from Big Jake. I was a big fan of Big Jake, where he has to save his grandson. It's a great movie if anybody ever wants to see it. And then the rifle that he used to use in that movie. One of the men that I used to enjoy watching was the Rifleman. I used to love the way he used to flick that rifle.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
With one hand, and it was amazing. Western movies, basically all the action Western movies back then, from the 40s and 50s and 60s, all the way up to present day, winded up leading with George Lucas making Star Wars. Mm-hmm. If you look at Star Wars, it's really a Western, in a sci-fi manner, and with the romance of the princess being saved and so forth. So, great stuff, man. Memorabilias and movies are a part of my life, and it's a part of everyone's life. And so I hope that everything that you've seen in here today inspires you to continue to watch classic movies and to really realize that this is a part of what my life was all about. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring to sit here, dim the lights, and watch a good classic movie.
Well said, Luis. And now tell me a little bit about that shirt you're wearing, because that's a classic collector shirt there.
Absolutely. I have a good friend named Charles Damiano, and he has these beautiful shirts that he's selling. And in the back, it says, have fun collecting.
Because that's what collecting's all about,
Absolutely.
right there. Have fun collecting. And do you have fun in this room, man?
Absolutely. This is my meditational peace room to hang out.
Wow. Well,
and you guys are welcome to come and hang out here whenever you'd like.
Well, we're going to hang out now. Me, you, and Hector's going to hang out and watch a movie with you right in your movie theater here. So why don't we set that up now and get ready to watch some movie and get me and him some goobers, some popcorn, and what else do you want, Hector? With that goobers pop, you want some Juji fruits, or what do you want? Milky Way. Let's get that going. All right, guys. Well, we're back here. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful room tour of Luis Cotto's man cave here. We went to the Bruce Lee section, his memorabilia section, covering everything from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s. Amazing. I want to thank my friend Hector Martinez here for videoing most of this video here today. So Hector, man, thank you so much.
Yeah, I got a bad back.
I know, man, but thank you, man.
Thank you, brother.
And Hector,
you got it, brother.
And Luis was kind enough to get us some popcorn here. We're in his movie theater, and we're gonna end the day by watching a famous movie in his theater. So what are we about to watch today, man?
What are we gonna watch, Luis Cotto?
Back in 1969, we're gonna watch Marlowe with James Garner.
Woo!
Definitely a
Let's
classic.
get it on!
It's a classic.
I can't wait to see this one. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll see you guys real soon. And as always, have fun collecting.
Don't forget your popcorn.
Don't forget your shirts.
There we go. All right, guys, before we end today, I wanted to give Luis Cotto a gift because he was so gracious to invite us into his home. He made us some nice lunch. What do we eat, Hector?
Arroz con gandules.
And pernil.
Wow, was that incredible?
Oh, man. I had 2 plates.
Man, and we even have his son here in the video today with his little baby. What's your baby's name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, to end the video. And I wanted to give Luis this little gift here. I got these Green Hornet photos from the J.R. Goodman collection. There's a series of 5 photos here on Bruce Lee and Van Williams.
Awesome.
So I wanted to give you these because I know you're into nostalgia and the Green Hornet. So I wanted to give you those. I thought you'd like those, and you have one of each of Bruce.
This is awesome to add to my Green Hornet collection.
Van Williams, and those are very vintage. J.R. Goodman used to sell these as part of his collection before he passed away. So I wanted to pass those down to you.
Adam West.
Yes.
God.
And the original Green Hornet Car.
Black
Thank
Beauty.
You, Charlie.
You're very welcome,
Beauty.
man. Well worth it, man.
Thank
You're
you.
well worth
Thank you
it,
so
and I'm
much.
glad I can give you something in return. Thanks you for inviting us.
And Luis, I got a little something for you as well.
Yeah.
These are DVDs. I know you got these movies already, but these are very special.
Okay.
Because these are from Italy.
Wow.
So you've got Bruce Lee speaking in Italian. Dalla Cina con furore.
Oh my God.
Nice.
That's from
excellent.
China with Fury, if
Oh.
you translate it into English. But it's actually the Chinese
The
connection.
Chinese connection.
Or
Look at
Fist
that,
of
guys.
Fury.
Nice.
That's cool.
That
And
is
this
nice.
one is Il Furore Cina Colipse Ancora. This is actually the big boss in Italian. There you go, brother.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man, this is so cool, guys. Check
So
that out.
Listen, you got to watch these movies while you're having spaghetti and meatballs.
And you can add
Enjoy
that
it.
to your 8,000 DVDs now.
8,002.
8,002.
I'm telling you, these
watch
are
the
these
camera.
are hardcore collectors.
Yes, yes.
Hardcore.
I have something for you guys
Oh,
as well.
Louis, you
You
gotta
are
stop
too
that.
gracious.
I have a jacket for you.
Oh man.
Bruce Lee's philosophy. Actually, it's the wrong size. This one's extra large for you.
Oh,
Extra large. I
There
must
we
have gained
go.
weight.
It's the
Thank you,
muscles.
Louis.
It's the muscles.
Oh man, that's
All right,
nice.
brother.
That's the name.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that,
Thank you, my
man.
brother. Oh, it's
And
a
it has
hoodie.
the saying, yep.
Yeah, look at that.
That is.
Thank you so much, Louis.
loving
You
it,
are
bro.
welcome.
I appreciate it, man.
Quite
Thank you
welcome.
so much, man.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
gonna wear
guys.
mine in Chinatown.
Definitely.
Wow, very nice, man.
Thank you guys for watching. Thanks you guys for coming.
You're very welcome, man.
Thank you for being here.
This is the chef.
Love you.
Yes.
He's the one that cooked the pernil.
Was
Yes.
That was
incredible, man.
delicious.
Wow.
Delicious.
All right, man. Well, guys, once again, we're signing out, saying have fun collecting, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Bye. Say bye, Alyssa. Bye.
She's like, I don't know what's
Really good. Thank you, man.
Mwah.
Very good, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Oh,
Louis.
man, my pleasure.
Very
I'm
kind
gonna
of you
add
for this,
that
man.
in,
Very
too.
generous. Thank you.